We'll call the
Oh,
meeting order at 6:01.
July 10th planning board meeting.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay.
Roll call, Christine Maynard, Chair.
Roxanne Tuskegee here.
Okay, Bizarre.
John Quinn, Lake District.
Oh, so we have a revision to the agenda. We just want to add on the driveway permits.
Mhm.
So just add
New business.
Number 7.
Sure. Let's see.
I know we commented or mentioned before the meeting, so I think we don't right now. I won't remember. I know that.
It's fine.
No? Well, if you want
I
to.
won't either. I forgot there was a meeting today. Several times.
Must have been a really good weekend.
Crazy. So zoning ordinance updates and revisions. So I finally got a hold of Blair yesterday and talked for quite a while. And I have another phone meeting with him. I think it's next week. Yes, I have a phone meeting with him on the 16th. And so I reviewed with him the things that we had initially come up with, which was I'm sorry, I have brain progressives and I'm trying to get used to them. I'm like, you feel like a bobblehead today. Hadn't been in 24 hours and actually not even 10 hours. So let me just pull up. So a few of the things that we brought up that we wanted to revise was the fence ordinance, kind of clarifying it so people clearly understood that it was strictly for the Lake District.
Should we say raise it from 42 to 48, so we're telling you exactly what we're doing.
Yeah,
So,
so-
but it could be up to 48.
What was the gentleman's name in meeting again? Sorry.
Blair.
Blair.
Is it Blair Haney?
Blair Haney, yes.
And you spoke with him for how long?
We talked for about 45, 50 minutes.
You just got to keep it accounted there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you will, are these billable hours?
He did not say.
That's fine if it's not, I don't want to
Yeah.
create any, I'm
No,
just,
No, but it's probably a good question to ask, because, we do pay for service, we do pay for the membership in some services, but then where's that threshold at, right?
Yeah, he didn't, so when we talked, because when I originally emailed him, like a month or two back, he had said about drawing up another contract, and I said, I'm fine with that, just, we need to go forward, regardless, we need to do the work and go forward. And then we played the phone tag, and so when I spoke with him yesterday about what we wanted to focus on, he said we needed to talk to the person above him about what would and wouldn't be like chargeable or billable.
no, I think
So potentially some of this may not be billable,
that's
but
right, we don't want to push it.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll try to keep on the
And like,
reasonable.
Pretty sad, but
yeah.
obviously it's not all going to be right.
No.
And like I had brought up at our last meeting, when we had our joint meeting, that I'm going to, and I spoke with him about if there are anything that becomes like a large project, like the manufactured home park.
That's priority.
And so for that one, if it becomes like a very big and potentially very expensive, instead of getting it on, because you know how always trying to get things on a budget, especially if there's a budget cap, that to potentially, if we could get a warrant article to get money from the unreserved.
You had discussed that,
So,
something to think about.
and I had said that to him too, so did mention to him that I was interested in potentially, which is not working, tallying up, like prioritizing what we want done right away or first, and then from there, anything else. for cost. And I brought up, I'm sorry, I don't know why this isn't working. Oh, that's fine.
Did you leave cheese and whiskey out?
No.
And the leprechaun's happy. Push back.
Oh, see,
But they don't have cows to cheese anymore. So.
there we go, that's fine. My internet wasn't going.
So your next step is to talk with her, meet with him next week.
Yeah, we're gonna talk and kind of, so then, the ADU one, so they also brought up because of all of the stuff that's going through the state.
Yeah,
He said a lot of things have changed, or I don't know if they've passed in the past, he didn't specify, but they're in the process of meeting and writing up everything, and they're gonna be sending it out to us.
It's very important because they submitted a lot of new laws and I really don't know which is passed.
Yeah,
But Robin, you had sent out that webinar for next week or the week after,
yeah.
and that might address some of these things. I wonder if it does.
So, once I get that, I will forward it to everyone.
Good.
So then that way, because I was telling him, with some of these things, it can also determine what's happened at the state level. The family compound one, we're just gonna be tweaking it with the,
D.
the deed and the affidavit. And then erosion control, I'm gonna reread our subdivision,
Yeah, I do too.
because he said that the erosion thing should be in our subdivision, or most often it's in the subdivision. He said, but we can kind of look at that and retweak those areas. And then we talked about a lot of like enforcement issues because of like
Everything that's been going on.
yeah, and like I said, like last month, it's like, there's no point of having these on the books if we're not gonna enforce it, or how to, and he said this is a problem that towns everywhere have. So we're gonna pick up where we left off there. The other one that I brought up, just with like reading different things on, I hate to bring up social media because it's like such a, but like the Stratford County social media page and stuff. But then other things that I've been reading news-wise is like Airbnbs and rentals. And I had asked him if there was anything that has changed, and he's going to research it for like whether permitting or whatever for the town.
I don't know enough about them to know what we should do to protect the town's interests.
Right.
I know you've looked into a little bit, but I don't know.
I had stuff from, I think it was last year.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I pulled stuff because we had talked about it, but it wasn't kind of a hot topic, it wasn't what we need to focus on.
I wonder what the issues are like. I just curious.
So Ossipee, I know in Ossipee has like an ordinance where they have to, I don't know if they have to permit their Airbnb or their short-term rental. Wolfboro looked into it and they did like a whole subcommittee. And you can actually see like there's like a huge PowerPoint, like it's wow. They found at the end, because the state, at the time, the state rules and laws were kind of gray, that they were like, if they go one way, it could bite, or if they go the other way, it could be okay. Like, so they were kind of like, let's hold off unless the state makes any kind of changes, and then we can readdress it.
So they have no B&B regulations.
Right. They have nothing in regulation.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my only thought would be is because from the town side, the selectmen, is revenue is we get a check or we get so much money for meals and rooms tax.
Oh.
So if I would, and I don't know, right now I think that's just kind of a calculation. But if you had more specific information of Airbnbs or rentals in town, you might be able to get, we might get a bigger piece versus a low, versus just like, oh, you're gonna get a certain percentage because you're this, that size town. Because I think, because I think that meals and room tax, it goes to all towns, but I mean, obviously in towns,
Yeah, we're gonna be looking for more money, yeah.
We could potentially maybe.
Yeah, and,
As long as
just-
we treat it fair,
Yeah.
like the Airbnb is just another rental,
Yeah.
right? It's just another way to do a rental.
Right.
So as long as we treat all rentals the same, it's just a matter of time.
So he's.
No, I don't think so. I don't think
This
it's
is-
just
this was
another
brought up-
rental.
No.
I would say that a Airbnb, a short-term rental is not the same as a regular rental.
Yeah, I
No,
agree.
not when a short-term rental is charging $2,000 a week.
Because you have turnover, you have people who, I just think you have
It's-
more traffic coming.
Well,
in
we can spread out short-term versus long-term rental, but I think we should be fair and say they're rentals. We all get still the meals tax from that, right?
Well,
But if it's not registered as such, then that's
We're,
my,
we're losing that revenue.
right, so but that's my thing is if there's no way to register, and I don't think, like the state doesn't mandate, anybody who's on
Yes.
Airbnb that,
I do believe from what I've kind of researched
and maybe,
and from what I've looked into is that if you're doing an Airbnb or vacay, whatever, any kind of short-term rental, I do believe from what I've read online that you are supposed to register or license yourself with the state. Now, whether or not people do that, I mean, because there's one or two renters in my neighborhood that I've questioned, and they're like, well, I pay my taxes. And I was like, okay, well, that's not the same as like, registering and licensing with the state. But,
Are there other issues with Airbnbs that I'm not aware of? The revenues I get, but is there just?
well, I mean, around the lake, there's issues. I mean, I think some areas of the lake are a little bit more than the other, but I was talking to a couple that was saying on their part of the lake, there's a lot of Airbnbs, and they have a lot of issues with like noise and trash and partying and things like that. But I mean, I think it's a business like any other, and if the town and the taxpayers can get relief from that, I mean, because if they were considered a hotel, they would be paying those taxes.
Right, we'd have to be aware that they are being run as a business as opposed to a rental.
right.
Well, if it was a rental, it's a business because you're making money out of it.
But I'm looking at the two as different.
When you say rental, you mean long-term rental.
Right, I'm looking at
Somebody
somebody's,
living there,
Like a
Airbnb
short-term.
versus short-term, which is.
I mean,
Airbnb,
but you could even, I mean, I think they're categorized differently. Because I don't think you pay like a meals and hotel tax on a long-term rental versus a short-term. So in Massachusetts, Blair was saying in Massachusetts, they had this same issue. And the state basically came back and said to the towns and cities that they can collect the revenue of the meals and tax revenue. So there is the potential of doing that, because he said he'd have to look into what New Hampshire does.
Do all businesses have to register with the town?
I believe they're supposed to.
They should.
They
Uh,
should.
I'm sure they don't, though.
Can
well,
I-
actually, wouldn't Robin be the one to ask? Because you'd be the one that would assess the, would you assess a business in town differently? Good question.
No, I bet you they're not unless it's in the
Yeah. Well, I mean, what about,
I
the
can
let's
check
look, what about Middleton and, Middleton Building Supply? Are they assessed, they clearly are business, there's no hiding that. So, I mean, it would apply to them and it would apply to the small business home,
I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of small businesses out there, and to be fair, I mean, I don't want to like have extra work that doesn't have a purpose. I just want to know.
No, I agree, John. I think it's just, I think part of it is seeing what other towns are doing things and, is it feasible or does it make sense for us to do anything additionally than what we're doing now?
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But again, you have to have a way to monitor that, right? You have to have someone,
Well, when John is opening up everyone's septic tank, he can ask.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's worth
Are you
looking
talking about Christine's husband?
No, John Mullen.
Oh, John Mullen.
Yeah, it's ordinance.
That's what, when he's going around the town looking at everyone's septic tank, he can ask if there's any businesses on the premises. I don't know, just, as long as we have a purpose, like,
No, I understand, yes. I mean, if, we certainly don't want it to be abused. But I think that's the idea is you would enact something, you do it in good faith.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, now you're just being kind of used. And it's like, well, now we have to put something in that.
and then we have the enforcement issue.
Right, well, yes.
Well, and then, there also is the offset to the rest of the town taxpayer. So it's, say if we have, I don't know, 150 Airbnbs or short-term rentals, whatever you want to call them, if that is revenue that the town can collect to help offset the other taxpayers and keep people who are on fixed incomes in their house a little longer, because, well, let's face it, like, there are other areas in town that are costing us an arm and a leg.
Yep.
Like the school. So I look at it that way. If it protects the taxpayer and keeps that year-round person that has only one home and they're having a death grip on their house to stay there, then you know what? Let's look at it.
Okay, well,
So I think it's just good to have the conversation with Blair, see what other
Yep.
towns.
and we have to see what the state does.
I mean, I think you're gonna find it obviously more in towns that have water, right? That's probably where you're gonna find, so like, it would be like Meredith, Wolfboro, Alton,
Laconia.
anything that has a lake, Wakefield potentially,
Hampton, maybe.
New Durham and stuff, just to see, do these other towns have something? What are they doing? Is it working?
Absolutely.
Before we go and start reinventing the wheel, which we don't want to do.
No,
No.
And we gotta have the
okay, well,
capacity.
yeah, we'll get more information, that's fine. And probably we'll have to put it before the voters anyway.
Oh, right, yes, oh, yeah. I think probably most of the Airbnb owners are not voters because they don't.
They're all non-resident.
That's the benefit of having more than one property, you can choose where to live.
Right.
But I don't want to punish people who are successful enough to have a second property, any more than I punish people who have smaller or larger properties. Well, I mean, just saying, just some people might feel they're being, like, the person with the low incomes, like, they are struggling, they're gonna be for it. People who are, like, not struggling and are being taken, again, we just have to get cost-benefit analysis.
Well, yeah, so we'll just see what, see what Blair comes back.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd love more information.
And then, so the erosion control, like potentially, like once we review the subdivision thing to see, and then maybe Jim's the one who brought it up to me.
Yep.
And he's on conservation too.
Yep.
So I kind of feel like it's like a conservation thing.
We can include them in the
Yeah.
drafting
There should be
process.
some sort of like best management practices that include erosion control and that silt fencing that they're supposed to be putting
And
up.
he brought
And that
it up.
again, I
We
mean,
have that in there, we don't have that in there?
I think
have
it
to go
should
back and reread.
Yeah, I do too.
He brought it up, he said recheck your subdivision.
Okay.
But if it's not there, then we need to add it and let's move on.
For some reason I thought it was in there, but maybe it's in there for like district or something, maybe there's more.
It's,
I mean, because when you get near the water, I think we have more stuff in there.
yeah, absolutely.
And I
More to
want to
lose.
reach out to John Mullen and see if his people that he's working with the project
Yeah, the watershed, yeah.
can maybe come up with something, because I know there's a boatload of recommendations
Well,
because
yeah, from the management plan, yeah.
um,
Yeah, that's all good.
I guess what we can do now is figure out what is the priority order that everyone feels that these need to be addressed in. Some of these are easy, I think.
Right, I think the fence and the ADU on should be pretty easy and straightforward.
There was a law passed about the ADU.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole thing, I thought I saw something, I read an email regarding.
That you.
I think what you said originally, Christine, was correct, that we really need to see where these new laws have
Right.
put us.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it could.
Because there were, they had, I don't know, 5 or 6 anyway, right? And I don't know, maybe even more.
Yeah,
Seemed like a lot.
yeah, no, I think they're working, well, and the idea is when do they vote? So are they done in July, do they vote and then they're done for voting, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a.
Well, yeah, when does the governor sign them into law?
Well,
Have
usually
they
they-
been signed into law?
And usually they have a start date. So the governor might sign it in July, they don't affect it in January 1st or June 1st,
Good point.
you know, or,
But
don't
and
know.
just to answer your question for my part, is I think that the way you stated them was my order of importance.
Right.
The modular manufactured
So you want
housing
okay.
is the biggest one, and then everything else seemed to be smaller. There's small changes.
Yeah, no, I agree. So you're gonna have your, you start with your manufactured home one, this is the biggest one. Then you have the side, kind of like the side ones, I'm kind of all over, is like the fence, the ADU, family compound, in the erosion mitigation. Because we know that those just.
They just need fine.
Or tweaks.
Except for maybe the ADU, because we don't know what that's going to, and then there's kind of an added one at the end is going to be like the Airbnb, kind of, can we get some information about this? This is kind of like, what information can we get? If there's anything that makes sense or whatever, then we could say, should we move forward with it?
Yeah. Well, and then I was thinking with that one is if it's the one that of like, is this worth pursuing and moving forward
Right.
with? Then maybe we look into seeing how much time and money it's going to cost us
Right.
and then roll it over for next year.
Yeah.
And then we can budget and plan for it.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
But I was wondering, John had made a very good point when we talked about this manufactured home before, and he had said, well, we have a state law and it's in the regulations. I wonder if that would be worth reviewing and looking at
yep.
Not
and
much.
falling asleep on.
Yeah, I mean, we can look at it, but there isn't much in here
Okay.
regarding it. At least I didn't think so. I'm not-
I thought there was a chapter, but I
There
didn't.
is.
Right, but it's not.
It's RSA 674, colon 16, that's short-term rentals.
What is it?
Oh, I thought there was.
674, colon 16.
Well, my bad, I thought there was a whole section on manufactured housing.
Oh, no, I haven't looked at that.
Oh,
This is
you're
Airbnb.
looking at,
Airbnb.
Airbnb,
No.
oh, sorry.
Which happens to be interesting, the page that had to be replaced in our book.
Huh,
So 674, what did you say?
674, colon 16.
Colon, 674, colon 16, 16. Let's see.
I don't know, they're not that clever.
I don't see, I see 674, 16.
Or maybe it's an old article.
No citizen. I see Brant Power. That's, it's on page, well, it's going to be 405, 404. Yeah. Research reference materials, I'm thinking I'm nuts. So all I see is Brant's Power. On-site, it's like on-site parking requirements, then that goes to 617. So I don't know what I'm missing.
Well, again, this might be an old article too.
Yeah, oh, okay, well, let me see, short, is the actual term short? I don't see it in the short term, okay, so let me go to, let's see, 67432. So that is,
my understanding was that if we didn't have a town ordinance, we would be guided by that.
yes.
Okay.
They were, yeah, they
That's
were
my
just.
understanding too. So you're right, so it says six, there's only manufactured housing, you got this, the definition, means any structure transformable in one or more sections, blah, 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 blah. Which is the travel mode is 840 feet or more in width and 45 feet in length. Whenever the site is 320 square feet or more, which is built on a permanent chassis, is designed to be used as a dwelling with or without a foundation when connected to required utilities, which include plumbing, heating, and electrical heating systems contained therein. Manufactured housing as defined in this section shall not include pre-site built housing as defined in RSA 67431A. And then there apparently isn't a lot there's like this definition of pre-site built housing. Then we have manufactured housing, 632, and then it goes to agricultural use. You know what I mean? So there's only like,
There's not,
So there's
I can
one
read
that- There's
it.
one that talks about parks, if you look at
but I'm
D.
just saying, there's
Yeah.
only like 2 pages, from
So-
what I can see here.
If you want, Christine,
Yeah.
I would ask you, ask Blair, what guides us if someone who wants to put manufactured housing, like at the corner, comes to town, what guides us? Is that all we have?
The state, they said it would be whatever the state guidelines
Yeah.
are.
And that is it?
Yeah.
Which kind of makes.
I just, could you just ask him if it's, if all we have is 674, whatever?
Right, yeah, is this, you know,
Is this it?
When you say the state, this is what you're talking about.
Is it what guides us? That's what I would ask you to ask him. But if you want, if not, that's fine.
I don't know, I can ask him. Because I had mentioned that to him, I said, from my understanding, from what I've been told is that it would just be according to whatever the state guidelines are.
And is that all?
And he said, yeah,
Yeah, and if that's it, if there's maybe something else, I don't know.
yeah, so he said that, he would definitely help us with that one.
Good.
And I think that one is actually something that should be on the forefront because
Yeah,
we have nothing.
right.
And, I mean, there's not a ton of parcels left that you could do stuff with, but just one could potentially.
Well,
That's a good point.
there's a couple in my neighborhood that's got 30 and 50 acres.
Oh, right, that's what I'm saying. We're not just
So you
running
could
off.
easily put a subdivision in there.
Yeah.
And Jack
That's-
Savage is selling, but I think
So,
You sold one.
But
but
he's got.
he's got protection. I'm just saying, someone with a big parcel of land like Jack Savage.
and the man who purchased those lands behind you, his name is Stephen Adario. He
Yeah,
bought
he's-
200, 190,
He's
yeah.
probably
Yeah.
looking
Just saying, you know,
Do something.
yeah, no,
to.
yeah. And that's fine. It's just,
That's his right.
But
the town has its rights too.
Protected.
Yes.
And we keep,
yeah, you
keep
put,
the spirit of what our
yeah,
town.
you put 100 homes anywhere, that's gonna increase police, fire, emergency, and school.
Yeah.
You
And
just-
roads.
And trash. and,
Roads are a big one, because I can tell you that the roads, it was brought up at the selectmen's meeting, Drew, Buttermilk, and Pheasant
Yeah.
were all created poorly, they were built poorly.
Well, so our
And why
roads
the
are
town-
created
and
horribly.
why the town never
That's not my
accept-
point, because those are,
Why the town never accepted them at
Right.
the levels they were, they shouldn't have.
exactly, and then we had the
Your roads, my
town,
roads, yeah.
the town had to, well, let's not talk about the Lake District, because that's a different.
No, but the roads,
This is,
no, the roads were accepted in below standard.
it's not my point.
Nope, okay,
My point
sorry,
is
Phil.
that the town had to float a $100,000 bond to fix the roads, to bring them up to standard. It fell, instead of falling on the developer, it fell on the town, and that's my point.
Yep, same thing. That dovetails with
We're- yeah,
with-
I-
those pesky Lake District roads.
yeah. Are your roads paved over there?
No, oh,
No.
theirs are.
And your neighbor, I know, ours aren't.
No,
I hear it every single day from my
I
husband.
thought she was gonna say, close mine, you don't want to stay there. it's gonna-"
no, we have one dirt
A whole
route.
nother conversation.
I'm thinking, I haven't ridden around there.
Nicola, Dudley, but Lincoln, and there's a whole half-mile loop of dirt road, and that's fine.
But that's in like the back.
Yeah, okay.
But still, that's fine.
Yeah, but your main roads aren't. Your main roads are paved.
Yes.
Right. Which
And they-
isn't,
and they
which
just-
isn't good.
And they just got topped.
I know it's horrible over in our area. It's the dust storms. Do you know the health problems?
The problem is if you pave them, it's gonna create a sluice right down to the lake.
It already is.
And it does over on one side.
The amount of money that it would take to bring those roads up to standard to pave them is
It's not
not
even-
gonna happen.
It was the last time they paved Nicola, they had to dig down, rip out tree stumps right out of the road. It was,
So,
yeah, it was something.
Crazy.
It would be nice if they could put something else down on it other than how it is because it's the dust that it.
How
picks up.
about cobblestone?
And I would even be happier with that.
It's only one thing you could do is impermeable, they make an impermeable permeable stuff.
Asphalt. No,
Asphalt, yes.
yeah, but the question is with the snow plows.
No, because they're using it on bits of highway, and it acts just like asphalt, but it's much more expensive, but the rain goes through it as opposed to just washing out.
It works with
But
dry.
like as Roxanne is saying, without saying anything, she's saying this.
Yeah. No,
Well,
she's not wrong.
I would just look at it, and even my husband looks at it, as in the 12 years that we've been there, the road crew before would fix the road in the spring, and now they're having to, like, I joke and I say, I think I see Jim and Dan more than I see my husband, because they're having to go up and down and grade the roads constantly. But all of the dust and everything that kicks up
It's
is
because we have more houses down there and more
It
traffic.
causes
And the other
health
thing is-
problems that it causes.
And water.
The thing is that, and they try and, I think, continuously maintain that and grade it if they can, whatever, just because it causes issues in the winter when you go to plow it if the road has not been maintained.
Like, look at the Durham Road, the dirt side. That thing, it's constant maintenance, and they do a good job on both sides of the town.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I'm not saying that
no,
they don't do.
but it's swampy and wet.
I'm not saying that they don't do a good job.
No,
Right,
no.
nobody's
It's
saying
the
that.
long-term, it's for my husband, he brings up the long-term effects of all of that dust that now gets kicked up constantly because the roads are so heavily used now compared to even 5 years
Yep.
ago and 6 years ago. I mean, we used to be able to sit out in the yard and you see like a car go by every couple of hours. Now it's like every couple of minutes.
Hey, you should come sit in mine.
I know, but your address has,
You're doing 60 miles.
your
70 miles
address
an hour.
has highway in it.
No, my address does not. My
Is it
address-
153 Kings Highway?
No, I'm on Kings Highway, I'm on Route 153.
She's on the street that's paved with gold.
That's right.
That's right.
And if
We don't want to get into the whole streets and stuff and people come with me. I live on a state road, so none of my tax-paying dollars get used on the road that I live on.
That's not true, you do pay state taxes, you're not.
Right, but not my local taxes. No, I'm paying for.
Yeah, your federal taxes go to Route 95 too.
Thank you, Roxanne.
And even I don't even drive down the road to go to work anymore.
Thank you, Roxanne.
You're welcome. I'm glad to help out. Kate.
So did we agree that the order in which you
Yes.
stated these is the order that we think the priority
So
is?
manufactured homes is
Yeah.
number one.
All the way down
Which I
to
think
erosion.
That's going to provide the most outer resource, you know, the
It's-
outside resource.
Yeah. So, and then what, ADU or
Yeah, no,
family
it was fencing,
compound?
it was fencing, ADU, family compound, right, am I saying these in the?
Yeah, you are. What I did. And then erosion was the last one?
Yeah.
And then Airbnb was
Oh,
the
Airbnb,
was
sorry.
about
wish,
asterisk.
that's the
That's
start.
the asterisk on the end, you
Yep.
know, like the.
Well, we're talking priorities, that's like,
Manufactured
we
fence.
want manufactured done first.
So then after the ADU, is it then the,
Family compound,
family compound?
yep, then fences. The fences should not be that hard. It's fairly simple.
Fences first, I thought fences was first.
Well, then-
Fence was under,
So, I think we had fencing, ADU, family compound, erosion mitigation, and then the asterisk,
The first one was manufactured housing.
Yeah.
yes. that's-
Okay.
They're talking about the second tier.
Oh, so sorry.
that's the one that's,
I've never into fencing, it's more into like, you know, legal business,
Yeah.
so.
so when I talk to them, I'll let them know that's the order,
Yeah.
which it hasn't,
And again, manufactured housing might cost more and fencing and ADUs might not. Well, he'll do the cost analysis
and the ADU one we already have. I think now it's gonna be a matter of
and
tweaking,
fine tuning it.
Just, yeah.
fine tuning it, and we might have to update it according to,
Well,
with the state.
if we put in the ordinance based on the state statute,
yeah.
then if they change it next year, it's based on state statute,
Right. Well,
unless it drastically changes.
yeah, well, right.
Like,
Okay.
I'd like to know what the state statute is, because can we restrict it than the state statute?
we can make it more
Oh,
restrictive.
yes.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't want us necessarily say we follow the state statute, because if they say, oh, you can basically free will
Right.
willy.
No, you can make it more restrictive, but if you say fence height up to
Oh,
48,
Yeah, no, right.
and then follow state statute, like Madison has no fireworks in the state,
Wolford is me.
allows it, right? It's okay. You know, like we can have fireworks in Middleton, Madison decided not to. That's more restrictive than the state. It's good.
Right. Okay. Just, no, I was just on something.
I know.
If I'm gonna be rentals, what can I do?
I noticed that a lot of the towns have tightened up on that. Firework thing.
It's hard to tell. I grew up in Massachusetts where if you have anything more than a candle or a battery
No, you
flashlight,
can have those little things that you put on the ground.
it's like fireworks.
Pop rockets.
Yeah, pop rockets.
Hey, for us,
I'm just saying, like, it's noticeable, like, oh, I could have a flashlight. You might get in trouble for that. But, nope.
Battery versus solar.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Meanwhile, they do shoot cannons on the Charles River every year, so it's a little bigger than a firework. It's only at Cambridge. It's like if they put it at the Lake District.
yeah, we just
Don't make,
we have most of the.
if you want me to put indirect fire over your house, we'll fire the illumination rounds and we do it. Again, no, right over, so you've got proper illumination.
All right, so what are we on, procedures for?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Breeze Farms.
Got this form here, the land use,
Yes, I liked it a lot.
is a nice land use form,
It was great, very.
put a date on it.
Date to the bottom.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I want anything.
Is that like the, as of 2025, or are you talking about the date they sign it?
Probably the date that it's approved.
Yes, okay, that's fine.
And then the second page is for the website itself,
Mhm,
directing
mhm.
people to that plan.
What,
I agree.
Add, this is two page, is this add to this page here?
I cut and pasted it, yeah.
I think it's good, and Robin now has access to the website, which is good.
I think this is good, so
I
I'm
gotta figure out how to use it.
gonna make a motion to approve.
Can we just wait 1 second?
Yeah.
Wow.
Robin, if you need help, I have teenagers, they know everything.
It's not intuitive. You know, it's
Except,
not-
no,
Well,
except,
you know what, it's,
I should
Except
have
that-
been
most
more
part,
aware
it's
of
when you
when doing my
first do it,
website.
because once you
Oh, yeah.
start, it's.
That's
what
key.
is this? Yeah. it's
Yeah, like
different
anything
than
else,
for-
yeah.
Keegan and Dylan through your website.
Oh, now
It's like publish equals save.
I should figure it out.
I don't know, look,
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh, I have that.
No, I don't.
it's like,
Hey,
Never used to use it.
Nothing for that.
it's nothing, yeah, they're not afraid.
Maybe a long time ago, but yeah, I hear it.
I operate the website of my job, so it's not that hard, they're smarter than me.
The only thing, and maybe it's here,
Okay.
is, do we need, maybe not, because you said this is kind of just I just always, when you write things down, that you've got to say somewhere that this may not be all the information we require.
Oh, a disclosure.
Yes. More information may be needed.
Right,
Correct, yeah, so I.
That's all.
that, yeah.
this may not, we may need more information.
Upon reviewing of.
Upon review, yeah, more, yeah, exactly. If you say that, then they're good.
Yeah,
Because, it might be like, I want to put 4 family compounds on a 6-acre lot, and it's got to be on the state highway next to
I
a
thought this was
cranky,
great.
late-taking person.
Yeah, that's a good point to point it at to,
Yeah.
There might be specifics that are not,
as a note to say, this may not,
This may not-
information may
May
be
be required.
it's, every case is different. And we-
Additional information may be required.
And I-
Right, she's right with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good idea, Kate.
Exactly.
No, I'm just saying,
We need a map too.
yeah, so do you want us to make a motion to accept this with the update that Robin is going to make?
Yeah.
I will second that.
I'll put exactly that, additional information may be required.
Yeah,
Put it in parentheses on the.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep,
I think that's needed, yeah.
So I made the motion, Robin, John seconded,
Yes.
and now,
All in favor?
all right.
we kind of had our discussion before.
Yeah, no, I think that was,
But no, that's good, nice job, Robin.
thank you
Yep.
very much. I hopefully this alleviates some,
Oh,
But
and
as we use it.
It gives us a base, and if we come with a thing that's like driveway permits or,
yeah, I hope it alleviates a lot of the back and forth that has been going on and, I don't know, when I start getting emails from people, I start feeling like I have to, dig in more, and one or two issues I found myself spent like a week and a half
right?
going back and forth with people, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Don't do that to yourself.
And then-
You
Yeah.
neither.
I've stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Well, and after the last issue, I was
Because it'll
like,
come and bite you in the butt
When
hard.
somebody calls and wants to know if a lot's buildable, that's the question I get asked.
That's not us to decide.
So, speaking of buildable, because I get the question asked quite often.
Yep.
Do you know that, so the property down on Lake Shore that's across from the beach, it's the lot in between the two, has that been deemed wetland?
Yeah, they so you're gonna look at the tax card,
Yep.
and some of the times it'll say wetlands on it, but the recent assessment from the engineers that did have that as partially wetlands.
Okay.
Yeah. But we have no setbacks from wetlands in this town.
That's something we should think
But
of.
except for,
I thought the state,
like, except for the septic.
so the septic is the only setback for wetlands?
It's, yeah.
And
And
what is that?
it's 75 feet.
Hmm.
So it kind of makes it hard to build in that area regardless, because it's kind of,
Yeah, but when there's a will, there's a way.
it's true.
Because I thought the lot behind me was not
Does-
buildable because it was too small. Yet
Does-
it's house there now.
Does Carl do measurements? Does our,
Portal.
I shouldn't say Carl, does our
Code enforcement?
code enforcement do measurements?
Well, this is why I asked for this specific building, so, because I want to look on here and see, do we have any lots? And I mean, and any lot should be looked at, he should be looking at, but specifically down in the Lakes District, because they would potentially may need a variance.
I can tell you the vast majority of the property, the lots that are down there, I would be very interested to see the map if it didn't need variance.
So that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but
Because when you start looking, I mean, unless your house is gonna be, 10 feet wide to meet some of those setbacks.
right, no, and I agree, that's what I'm just saying.
And realistically-
That's on him, he should be saying, I shouldn't see a building permit on here for the Lakes District.
But then I guess I have an-
Unless it meets the setbacks, or it's variance.
So then I guess I have another question or debate, which I have a hard time understanding, and then, of course, my husband got into it with me, and I was like, I don't disagree with you on it, but when you go to build a house, if your property has not been surveyed, how do you prove to code enforcement, my property line is here to here?
Yeah.
And no, because then if somebody goes and buys a lot next to you and they go and have the survey, and come to find out, lo and behold, like, no, your property line is here, and now instead of 20 feet from your side, you're like 5 feet from your
Yeah.
side.
Remember the,
That's more of an issue. than
So
this.
if you look,
well, no, remember Pinkham, we had a subdivision, and, yeah.
no,
And they-
go ahead,
and they-
let me find it first.
And because of the quote, old survey, the subdivider thought it was okay, and the landowner said, no, I have 200 feet this way. And they worked it out, but the Lakes District, I mean,
There's not a lot of.
yeah, there's no survey point, okay, these survey points, but they're old, like with the old rusted pipe that's gone.
I mean, my property is only 21 years old and it has been surveyed.
Oh, and I checked the setbacks, and yeah, you meet them, but I checked them because, I did, because back then, we had code enforcement that was not checking the setbacks. And there's-
I
Oh,
I can
heartbreaking.
pretty much tell from looking at my house that I meet the setbacks, but,
Obviously, but, Kate is,
and my friend.
No, I trust nothing. I trust no one and nothing.
I
Don't
live
take
a ways
it,
before
don't
I
take
cross
it
one of
personally.
these streets.
it's called, no, it's trust but verify.
In our last meeting, Kate Bizarre asked
Oh, okay.
if the town still requires a plot plan by a licensed surveyor. So, everything on Pinkham Road has just been surveyed. They will never need a surveyor, right? It's only in the village district that they can. There's other places in town, because a little bit of history. John Fitch over somewhere in your area, and you remember John Fitch,
Yeah.
but there was a where they were building on the wrong property. There were big lots, but they had never been surveyed. So he requested this, and that's why I asked it, because we don't have a copy of the building ordinances that town passed, and I don't know if they were superseded by the state, replaced by the state. So that's why I asked Carl, but he said yes. Yes, it would require a survey.
Okay, well,
So when I talked to Carl, he said, no, you don't have to have your property surveyed, which I'm then like, well then, how do you prove, like, are you going out and like, with a tape measure and
So you just.
walking the lines?
So right here, you pull out these.
Page 2, he said it good.
Right
Ask him
here,
about.
takes in the last meeting, you sat right here, and, where is it?
I mean, I talked to him about this like months,
Page 2?
at least.
Page
Oh,
3,
page
sorry.
three. Right there, she says, right there, it says, Kate asked if the town still requires a plot plan by a licensed surveyor. Council said, yes, it would require a survey.
well, perhaps we should put,
Maybe he learned something new between the time that I spoke with him.
maybe we should highlight in the ordinance saying all new plots need to be surveyed.
That was in the building ordinance.
Okay, well, or if it's not in building ordinance, hopefully it is, but think about it, every time they make a new house on the lake shore, we'll slowly get that,
There's only a few lots left.
Yeah,
Well-
on Lake Shore, there's only a few lots.
and, well, there's gotta be a way to like do that, because lots are sold all the time. And when they're sold, you wanna like, if I'm buying a property, I wanna know it's 200 by 200 by 200, not like
Because that,
wishy-washy.
yeah, well, and that also knows if like you're able to
Your
build.
little tree there.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you sell your property, your buyer wants to know they're getting exactly what you're promising,
Well,
and
and I
that's what we want to guarantee. No,
And I've told people too that have approached
fine, you're
me,
diligent.
non-planning board wise, because I've only been at this for a short time, but I've always told people, like, if it's not surveyed, then put it in the agreement that it will be surveyed prior, because you're not guaranteed, like, where your property lines are if it's not surveyed, and, you know, you gotta look at, to make sure, because people say, oh, is it buildable? I'm like, well, you gotta look at your setbacks, and you have to look at the water, and you gotta look at the,
Yeah, well, it's also, it may not affect you, your house might be surveyed, your neighbors may not, and-
All right,
but no, I think we should look, we'll have to look into it.
so we approved the form and
Yep.
thank Robin for coming up with it. It's a great
I
job.
like doing that kind of stuff.
Good.
Okay, yep.
Good, 'cause
Well,
we
if it makes your job easier, perfect.
It does.
It's perfect, because,
Yeah, so if there's anything that makes your job easier, by all means.
well, and I like so I like this form because it is a very direct, it's gonna be very
It's a
direct.
record that you can say,
Yes.
this happened versus someone came in and spoke, what, no.
And I mean, and I got this just a week ago, I don't know if you saw, because I made sure that you guys were CC'd on it, but, I had somebody call and say, oh, code enforcement hasn't been caught, like, doing their job and coming down and all this, and I was like, then I get pulled into it, I don't know why, planning got pulled into it.
Because he enforces the zoning ordinances, which
Yeah.
we put
We
together.
could get, so, it was like, okay, and it ended up being, this guy didn't do his job, and he didn't, but he started pulling planning board and selectmen and everybody else into the whole mix, but then I was able to get a hold of Carl and say, when did you talk to this person? Give me your timeline so I can respond back to him, but at least if somebody says, like, I've been trying to get a hold of the planning board for months, and I'm like, well, I don't have your form, and it says directly on the website, or if they say, well, Robin told me X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you didn't fill out this paper, like, that's your step
Just
one.
before I left the office, I got an email from a realtor asking if such and such lot was buildable.
Oh.
But now I can refer them
Yeah.
to the zoning ordinances, and if you have specific questions.
or they can take a nice little trip.
And realtors are like notorious for doing that, like I think they're like one of the laziest groups of people.
Just for the sale.
Yeah.
Some of them.
And so, well, yes, not all, but there's a lot, I mean, I think now, because the market's been so easy to sell things, I mean, you could sell, a doghouse for $500,000 and not,
Don't tempt me.
not.
There could be an ADU right behind my house.
Oh, that's right.
Right, there you go.
Not a B and B?
Okay, we're on that, let's get the bond request. I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep you hold to peek to the pie and we'll stay here.
Great. All right, so, oh, jeez.
No, we don't.
Okay, so the bond request, that's for what, Jimmy and the guys for the road, right?
No, that's, you
Oh,
asked me to
yeah.
look into that.
Yes, the bond
Getting a
request, we
bond.
asked them to look into it because of the
The cutting.
the cutting that's been
Yeah.
happening down on Silver Street.
So, and I haven't done anything with it for a couple of weeks, and I was going to talk to some other towns. I was actually going to visit with some other towns. But I was going to talk to
So-
Avatar about who they suggested. Anyway, I'm going to move that, I guess, up to
Okay.
the top of the priority list. I guess you guys are talking about it.
Yeah, because, I mean, my understanding is they're probably, I think from what Scott had talked about, is that they're probably going to be done in a couple of weeks, or within a month.
Yeah.
But we also need to follow up, and not necessarily part of the bond piece of it, but it's like, we need to let either the logger or the landowner know, you need to restore the property that you
Destroyed.
you damaged.
Now, is it, I
Which
know,
is the stone wall and trees. So
Right.
how you take care of, replace trees, but the stone wall, you know.
it's, so, is this a planning board issue? The bond request?
I don't necessarily know if it's a bonding. So
And-
maybe, we'll table this for Robin to find out maybe her additional information when she goes to meet with other.
Is this just a
So I'm going to
selectmen's
make some
issue?
phone calls, but I know NHMA said it should be part of the driveway regulations.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, so.
They
Well, wait
specifically
a
said
minute, it is in the,
Yeah.
it is in the driveway.
But Dan's never used it, nobody seems to know anything about it.
Oh, but,
But there is
and who doesn't he have enforcement rights in the driveway regulation? I
Yeah.
thought it said it in the driveway regulation. Okay.
I kind of put it on the back burner, but I'll look more into it.
No,
But yeah, so I think let's find, we'll get a little bit more information on there, and then we can say, oh yeah, it's definitely not zoning.
I will by the next meeting.
No, it is zoning, if it's driveway regulation, and then I'll look, yeah, yeah.
You can have it.
Yeah, planning, so sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
This was the-
Because all we need to do adjust a regulation is the public hearing. We don't need to put it in a town warrant like we did in January to change that.
I learned that from you, yeah.
Yeah, I learned it by doing it.
Yeah. But we actually need, I'll find out more about the details of the law, and then we need a procedure, who's gonna do what.
Right.
Exactly.
So we get to it. So our next thing,
So you'll further research that.
what's the zoning ordinance?
This one's easy.
Oh,
You
that's
guys
right.
wanted to sign, John said he can't sign it because he was not on board at the time.
Okay,
Fine.
So if you guys would sign.
I'm not signing it.
You weren't here either?
I wasn't on the board.
Okay, that's right, you and I talked
What's
about
these
that.
three?
So that leaves you three.
I'm not signing it because I don't like it. Well, I don't.
Well, I understand.
It
No, I get it, but-
it doesn't have near enough regulations on wetlands and water.
Well, I understand, but it's still the right.
No, but I wasn't on the board.
Right, and you weren't, that's right.
Thank you.
But I mean, if you were on the board.
If I was on the board, I'd shut my mouth and I would grit my teeth,
Right,
yes.
you would sign it reluctantly.
I don't like it because it has too much in it.
There you go.
There we go. Too much.
A minimal
So do I
one.
have to do it as a chair?
Yeah, because we would have been.
I don't think.
Remember, if John was not here,
Vice chair.
that means you were the chair.
John was the chair.
Chair was the chair.
He's
because-
saying that the specific date he had already given.
Bring him before us.
Well, he said that he resigned in February.
Right, and this is March.
Right.
Okay, so she was the chair.
So let's, so the website.
Right, I'm going to review our minutes.
Just on the website, I had access, yay! So
Yay.
I know how to use it. I've made a bunch of changes already in the document section, but I will keep doing that, and if you have any suggestions.
Yeah, I do.
And
That was that.
are the zoning ordinances on the website now? The new ones?
The new one is on there, it's under planning board. I'm gonna put the other two, I think I might have today.
Yep.
I'm still learning how to use it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the other ones in an archive. It's
Yep.
gonna be a planning board archive.
Yep. And do we have a link on do we have a link on the front page saying,
No, you have to go into.
This is what it looks like. She's put it here on your back page.
yes,
Yeah.
okay,
There might have
well,
been maybe some changes, but yeah.
Okay, well-
There's really not any direct links on the front page unless like on the blurbs that say, this is what's happening,
Yeah.
the thing that goes first. Or if you go up to the top, you can go down, you have to do the drop down. We don't have, our front page is not.
I mean, maybe we can look into it. We'll ask Tim, like, can you put like announcements, zoning regulations, building regulations?
But, well, no, but we can put an announcement on there to say, new zoning ordinances have been added to the website.
Well, we just want to make it easy for people to find it. So if there's a menu,
They should be able to find it on the planning board.
Well, everything is under documents.
okay, there we go. Okay, okay.
So
Well,
if anybody asks for
But-
something, it's
but
under
if-
documents.
Planning board documents, and they're all listed
Right,
here.
and the thing of it is we could say when we made an update, we could put that in the word on the front,
Right.
you know, that.
yeah, announcements, right, okay.
across
Yeah.
The news to say,
Oh,
hey.
and I should specify, I only have access to a couple of sections.
That's fine.
Kim's doing the calendar, and Tim's still doing the news.
And that's fine, right? I think this is the big thing.
Well, this is what you mainly.
That's the big deal.
Yeah. And we don't need to reinvent the wheel or rediscover fire. Or, there's a lot of burning wheels running around.
So,
The other thing, no, that was it for me.
well, I do have a couple of comments. Well, maybe. If you look at, everybody has this, it's on the back thing.
Yeah.
Subdivision site plan boundary line adjustment application, if you read it,
Yep.
it also, it talks about site review, it doesn't give any, just take a look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I made some changes, so
Yeah.
if you can sit down with me, we'll look at it.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
make
Mhm.
changes.
I clarify that because it,
Mhm.
So are you saying subdivision site
It's-
boundary line is not the correct meaning?
I think it, because it also talks about site review on the actual page.
Oh,
I don't think I made any changes.
I just want to bring it to your attention. I'm not going to ask for any specifics. I did review it before I came to the thing, but I didn't print it out, and I really need to have things printed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Yeah.
did.
And then the other thing was, so I like the fact that we have the notice of the planning board approval, and you say you're going to delete that, but are we going to keep it in a different file? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be
I
nice?
set up a file for planning board, you're talking about minutes?
I'm talking, well, you've got your minutes, but this is the notice of the approval for town. Do you think we should keep another file for that, or just,
Yeah.
you have it deleted, and it shouldn't be on that page, you're right.
I don't even know how it got there.
Yeah, that's fine.
That should have been on the news, and
Yeah.
then I guess we also had to deal with the bigger issue of where all the planning stuff gets archived.
Yeah.
You-
Right.
If you could get another folder
Or you
that
could
says
get another
archive
that says archive.
and put it by year, I know.
No, let's start with just maybe
Yeah.
archives, and then get it in there, and then there's, you know, then.
Yeah,
But-
maybe a folder for all approvals, same with the zoning
Yeah.
board, I don't know, I'm gonna have to.
When did we approve that? Oh, it's right here on this page, that was done then.
Because right now they're going on the news page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that gets,
Send it to Tim and ask him to post it.
So that gets archived in something.
I
But I
guess
don't
that's
think
fine.
it stays there or.
I should, I would think that a page of approvals would be nice, but
Right,
that's not my decision, and it's not a
Yeah.
big thing. It's these applications and everything else.
Yeah, as long as it's user-friendly, both you and the
Yeah, and
residents.
like you said, notice of planning board approvals, and then not have all this wording underneath it, but you know, you could go in and click on it, and you could see each individual approval if you wanted to click on it, you know, get.
I don't, what's the storage capacity, that's another
You
question
just
too, I
keep it
guess.
whatever.
Really?
Well, let us know if we have any issues.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll stop charge us more money probably.
I read something the other day, that the zoning maps are, I think, required by state law to be updated yearly. Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
okay, yeah,
Yeah, well, I know we do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But because I love the fact that you've got the dates on everything
Yeah.
here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and just to add the dates when it's appropriate, I think, or revision, or a data revision, you know, so everybody's on the same page.
No,
Just-
that's a good.
And actually, I don't know if you saw my email, I just sent the updates for.
Yeah, these are just some thoughts.
Well, no, I want you guys to check it and see if I missed anything.
We will look.
When the proofs come back,
Ongoing,
if you know of stuff, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll take a peek. Just, I need to download the new zoning ordinance anyway.
We're lucky to have you and don't win the lottery.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, maybe that's bad. Don't win the
For the
lottery.
most part.
We appreciate you. Always put it in. You wanna know? Okay, so meeting minutes for June 12th, has everybody looked at them?
I have.
Yep.
The only thing that I kind of wish, Christine, is that at the start of the meeting, when you opened it, that you said this meeting is a
Joint.
conceptual joint meeting, or what was the word we
I
used?
see.
Non-binding. This is a non-binding meeting of the,
It's in there, it's not.
it is, but it's not, I wish you had declared that at the beginning of the meeting. Like, what is this meeting for? Why are we here?
No.
This is for a subdivision for whatever.
Oh, I
So they were,
thought I said that.
you did,
It
right?
was it's in the body, it's not at the beginning. Okay, I'm wonky, it's okay.
Okay, well, yeah, well,
Wow.
as the vice chair, you should have been on that.
I did, I brought it up later.
Yeah, brought it up after the fact.
No, I was listening to the Cynthia conversation.
I'm just saying, no, but it is on the front page.
She
And
would,
don't forget driveway permit.
Yeah, well, I'm
We're gonna
motion,
do that after the,
so I'll make a motion
oh,
to accept the minutes
seconded.
From June 12th.
on June 12th.
Do we feel that the joint meeting was,
I thought it was useful as far.
I thought it was great.
No, I thought it, I mean, it.
We don't need it every year unless it's an issue.
Is this,
Right.
is this
No,
where I
no,
should
think
apologize to
No, I
Christine?
think it's a good thing to have it once a year, just to,
get on the page?
so we're all saying, okay, what have you had any issues this year that you think that we need to address on the planning board in the ordinances?
That's a great
And then,
idea.
hey, maybe the meeting only lasts a half hour.
I mean,
whatever.
it also could be, if the meeting is like one chairman to another chairman saying, look, everything's fine, no problem, that's an email, right? That's great. If we send something to selectmen that's, everything's great.
Yeah, but I think it's also one of those things where,
Well, those are Friday night meetings that are catered.
yeah.
Well, I should apologize to Christine though, because I was a little upset that we were having that applicant come and talk to the zoning and the planning, but then I thought about it later and I said that was a genius move actually, to get that all with the zoning board and the.
Yeah, the good
planning
side is
board
they
right
didn't-
there
they
and
didn't-
get some things, yeah.
There's
So
a lot
I
of
do want to
cross-
apologize because I was.
No, it's okay. I mean, there was a few people that were a
You
little,
could see it, you could interpret it as being, at the ZBA meeting, it's like, no, it isn't. They were just stating what happened.
Yep.
But then it was kind of like, okay, well, we need to.
Yeah.
Non-binding, yeah.
Well, it's also, we were all in the same room, we got all on
Good
the
job
same
on you,
page.
yeah.
yeah, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to take that opportunity because there was a lot of
It's a lot of
miscommunication. So it was an opportunity for all bodies to be
Yep.
present and hear the same thing and agree upon the same thing.
Right. I
Um,
mean, yeah, it's good. It was a good meeting, yeah.
So, all those in favor?
All those in favor of accepting, Bruce made the motion.
Kate made the motion, John seconded.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Uh,
Okay.
good job.
Building permits,
I
anybody?
didn't see anything new. Well, it's interesting, so if you look at the second one, it says new building 2020, but I think this is for a gas permit, and it's not. So, I mean, it's kind of,
Is that like the next step to the new build?
deceiving. Yeah, because it says it's a new building, 2024, 2,024 square feet, and it's on Lake Shore Drive, and I'm like, But
think
it says
he already-
gas, but then it says gas permit, so I'm like, I think the
Yeah.
bill is already.
The house is already like up and done. I think they're doing like the,
Yep.
They have to use the same, they have to use the same floor print, is that what we call it, right? That's what we said?
yeah, pretty much.
But then everybody else was like roof panels, there's a new, on Pinkham, and we know that that's all good because that's, I
Mhm.
did see, and I was curious, so this pole barn they did, because I saw that pole barn going up right in here, and the Darrell were like, so there is a building permit, so that's good.
That's good.
And
We're
then
going.
T-Mobile is added to the tower, so I think we need to follow up with, our
Carrier.
cell phone tower people to make sure that we start getting that revenue.
Because isn't it a percentage of anything after?
It'll, increase.
And there's been promises that tower will make revenue, and we want to make good on those.
Well, it's makes about $2,500 a month, but the more that gets on there, the more money.
It just,
Because isn't it like
Good faith.
a percentage of each
I don't-
carrier after?
I don't know. After.
no, it's every meme you send out,
Yeah.
every emoji gets a little kickback.
Oh, well, spread the word and,
Yeah, I'll just have my kids skippity suss it and they'll take care of it.
In-law apartment, and then there's the in-ground pool that's going in across the street, and I'm playing.
I noticed that.
I'm trying to think of 63, that I think, is that beside is closer to me, or I think that is the.
I
Does she
think,
have to walk, or does she have to take the jeep over?
I think that makes, that makes her part of the Lake District.
Actually, I think it's the, when you drive in, I think it's the first
She was a
house with a
reassessment.
shared driveway with, it's that place with,
No, I don't want to reassess her, I just want to have her come to meetings.
who?
If you have a pool near your house, that's like the Lake District right there.
She's over in my district, she's over in my, she's
Yeah.
my neighbor, but I haven't walked. That's not- I haven't walked. Yeah.
It's a body of water.
So it is, and I can see the bottom of it, and I can see if there's anything.
I can do the bottom of the lake too.
Under member comments, I had this,
Wait a minute.
are we there yet?
Well, no, we're going to do the driveway.
Oh,
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
we inserted that.
I'm
So
sorry.
Kate, you gave me this, the driveway regulation.
Right.
Where is it in here that talks about the bonding? Is it in here? Because you just said it was in here about the bonding.
No, I didn't say it was in
I
there.
said that, and
And she said that's where it should be, is in the
Oh,
driveway
I know.
that's
regulation.
where it should be.
Yes,
And I
and I
know
think
there's a
so.
form, we have a form for it,
Okay.
Okay.
and beyond that, I don't know.
Okay, so, so I think the idea is we want to change the driveway permit application form. We want to, I'm going to make a motion that we change the driveway application fee to $100, because that was the recommended, right?
And what's the current driveway app?
$25.
So I mean, well, no,
$25.
I don't need a new driveway, so I don't know these things.
Yeah, no, it's 20, well, I have the form.
And what's the reason for the increase?
Well, $25 doesn't cover the cost of.
The guys
going
going looking
out
at it.
there,
yeah.
Looking at it, saying, this is where it needs to go, this
Okay.
and that, and whatever.
And then going back out there, and
Yep.
I talked to Jim, I don't know if he
But I would
said it
say,
at the meeting, but I know him and Jim had to go out to like one driveway
A couple times.
a few times.
And when was the last time we increased it?
the word, it would probably.
I think that's the original cost.
Yeah, I bet that is the original.
So,
cost.
so it's been some time and it better covers the cost of our hardworking DPW.
I know it's been that.
So my motion is to increase that application fee to $100 and to include bonding, bonding road verbiage.
The verbiage.
Verbiage?
Verbiage for bonding the road requirement.
That's part of your
Motion.
motion?
Yes, but we want to add it to it, because it's not
Okay,
here, right?
fine.
You want to do two separate
You
motions?
want to do two
Well, I thought that
Yeah.
the money is one thing, and then just investigating the verbiage is the
Money would
second.
be easy to do, right?
Right.
So,
And then that can
so we'll just make one motion right now for the application fee to be changed to
Can
$100.
we-
Who wants to
can-
second that?
I'll second that for discussion.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I have no discussion, but I'll second it.
Oh, okay. So now.
Kate, do you have anything?
There being no discussion.
Well, I thought there was discussion. I think it's a good idea.
That
We
discussion.
tend to be discussing.
Okay,
stuff
so
beforehand.
all those in favor to discuss?
No,
or-
no. So make the motion, second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Any discussion on it?
No. Move to vote.
No? All right, we'll vote.
All those
All
in
in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
So now, I guess I make a motion that we want to add verbiage to.
I don't think that's a motion. I think that's just a request.
Oh, okay.
So we need to figure out what that verbiage is gonna be.
All right, so this is the assignment then, Robert, is we want to, we want to add verbiage to the driveway application fee for bonding purposes.
Just the
Can you
bond.
take a look at that? Maybe you can look at maybe another town has it.
And that's because of the action.
When we have it, bring it back to the board and we'll, okay, Kate? Does
That-
that work?
That works for me, but and this is a result of the action of the guy doing the, timber
So how does
harvesting.
it determine
silver.
who
I
and
think
what
it's
needs
just-
bonding?
I think it's, yes, this is actually timber harvesting,
That's the thing, I think
but that's a driveway permit, whereas this.
I think there's several
So it's
websites you
two
can look
things.
at if
That's
you want to know
that,
about
we
bonding.
want to talk about bonding road for driveway permits, which is new
Just not
altogether.
here.
But there's also,
I don't know.
we want to find out about the bonding part, when someone wants to come in and harvest, like, the road was already there to get in.
You're right, the road, they had a driveway, they added another access without
Without
the-
an intent to excavate or an intent
Yeah.
to cut or whatever, we want to be able to, we want to.
I think
know
it
what
it could be two
requirements are
separate
on-
things. Remember the hotel properties they harvested? Then they did driveways.
No, right, but I'm just saying, right, so I think, yes, I think.
Did he do driveways
We want to, on the driveway, just a regular driveway permit, we want to add language to, but what do we, what language can we add to potentially request bond?
Yeah,
Because,
it could be just like a reference,
They might have to come in and lay a bunch of like, 6
or
feet of dirt,
culverts,
whatever, right?
or culverts.
So that's one thing. Then the second one is on the intent to cut and intent to excavate, is there anything in there requiring, that we're gonna require you to bond the road?
Right.
Yeah, no,
So that's where that came from, is the bonding on the road was that intent to cut.
right, because
Because
what they did was they let the property owners, the
Oh,
builders,
because he did all
do
that
the
damage
driveway.
going in there.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to, but I can't
But he had
hear.
to do the bond because of the culverts.
Because of the,
Damage to the culverts, damage to the road, damage to the stone wall.
Yep, exactly.
And he created an additional cut without driveway approval.
Right, and so what we're trying to do is cover, I think, all the bases of
Right.
where could we.
Where we need to
should
cover
we,
the town's
To cover bonding, so
Bond-
intent to cut, intent to excavate,
Yep.
driveway permit. Maybe there's something else in there that, but I mean, as we find that, we will say, okay, maybe we need to add it in
Yep.
there.
I just want to be clear, so when people read this, we're not just willy-nilly.
No, no, no.
That's why I'm asking silly questions
this is
like,
to protect our roads, which I think,
Yep.
when you listen to people, when they do show up to anything, is they want our roads protected, so.
Of course.
We're not,
Well,
No, we're not
you
out of line.
can only do so much on a road with so much money, and we don't put a lot of money in, $20,000 is a lot of money, but when you look at.
It's not a lot of
It's
money.
not a lot of money.
For the
if you
work
don't
that-
spend it.
you know, and it gets, more expensive every year. What if they,
Yeah.
for example, what if they, cut a large town-owned property on Lakeshore Drive, which is a substandard road? That's gonna cost a lot of money,
Yeah, yeah.
and maybe noise.
Now you can have your comment.
Yeah, please, Kate, go ahead, I'm sorry.
member comments.
Yeah, I found from, do we have, John wanted to update the planning board procedures. I have a copy of the old set. Within these planning board procedures, there is, the clerk is responsible for, and it has all these bullet points. I should have made copies for tonight, I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
And your job description.
So we'll just give them to
Where
Robin.
is that? Yeah, I'll put it with the minutes, but,
Well, we need to review them.
okay.
So what I would say is, let Robin take a picture of that with her phone.
All right, well, I have another copy too.
Oh, she has a copy, so you can have physical.
I just didn't make copies for everybody.
I thought we,
Kate doesn't like to make too many copies, that's fine.
So that paper,
Right, but sorry about my,
I know it's enough for all of us.
Just get rid of, fold it so when you make a copy.
Okay. So you want me to send this out to everybody, or you want me to put it with the minutes?
Oh, and is it, I mean, they never, unless they've been superseded or, what is it, rescinded, I don't think that they have.
right, it would be good to have available a copy for us at the next meeting.
They still are in effect.
Hmm,
And I might have a copy.
I thought we.
I feel like we did too, and I just don't know where I.
Wow.
I thought I was like the person we did last year. At the start.
well, again, it's not bad to brush off the dust and look at it again. We
I
did,
know
a-
John wanted to, I remember hearing him say he wanted to, update the procedures. Did you guys ever do that? And if.
I thought he did, and we agreed to it.
Well,
Well, you have to have a,
That was
if he
in-
did, they'd be in wrong.
Yeah, I don't need, if he brought it up at a meeting, I think.
And then we just did, well, probably
I don't
to
think
the
I
point
ever
where we
got
have to do the ordinances and get that done.
Yeah.
gosh, you guys' workload has been increased. I really appreciate that because one subdivision after another for all these years, it's been tough.
Yep.
And then trying to do anything else is very,
So
that you
what
did
I
is
would-
great.
What I would recommend, Robin, is free and fresh fresh version of that, whatever that means, you.
So this one.
Bring it, provide it to us,
Yep.
start at our next meeting, and then
Or
we'll
just-
have it.
Do you want to have it ahead of time to be able to look at it, or do you want to just? Look
yes,
Yeah.
reading ahead is always beneficial.
at it? I'll do both.
If you can do it, I mean, you're busy.
Not hard to send an email.
You gotta
I mean,
scan
I
it
don't-
and say, here it is.
Okay, that's fine
You
with
could
me.
do that, it's a rough draft. Try to get rid of my little, fold it so my scribbles.
I promise I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, a photo is fine.
Any other comments?
Anything? Feel?
Thank you.
I'll add, I just, limited comment, not much or whatever. It was kind of nice to have just a low key meeting, you know, to kind of maybe start to just concentrate on these issues versus continuously, you know, having to deal with some, just, regular stuff, but I mean, because we are gonna have to put our heads down and work on this, so it's kind of nice to kind of get through that for this meeting.
Well, you can, it's right, because you never know when somebody, you're gonna get an applicant, right?
Then we're,
And then it's- and
and
yeah.
then that cuts into our time and stuff like that. So it's just kind of nice to,
Not be.
Thanks, Robin, for all you do.
Yes.
You are.
It's a
You-
lot.
Yes, it is a lot.
It is nice not to have a subdivision.
See, yeah.
Well, when I put that ADU doghouse, then we'll have problems.
You can still build it
I don't have to build it, I have one there.
up.
Do you have a dog?
No.
Comments?
Comments, yes. For those who missed it, the lake fireworks were wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Over.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
It's like-
There was a bunch of,
I'm a minority here.
I guess,
Drones are getting to be a big thing.
I can take care of that. We can get some,
Well, that is actually, that is interesting, because I wouldn't be surprised eventually to say maybe Middleton invested in a drone, because that's how you can check people's property.
I made that suggestion to Mike and Carl.
I do
months ago.
remember you commenting about that, that's, yes,
So why don't you, because there's some very large parcels, and then like when you look at like certain other areas, it's like it's hard to get to, and
so, yeah.
and we'll have to get into the counter drone problems.
you know, get the
You
drone.
need to know how to use it, that's.
No, no,
And they have them
Someday
where there's
somebody will be like,
cameras
yeah.
and,
Have you not considered the local news, and they can drop thermite with drones, they can do cameras with drones, heat sensors with drones, counter drone technology, I'm all
so
over
this
it.
is kind of a,
Wait a minute,
Oh,
let's finish up.
sorry.
Any more member comments?
I think I should set it up.
are you sure?
I can say a lot more, but a lot less.
John, you look tired to.
This is kind of a planning board / budget code enforcement, so all of this is only as good as it's enforced. And so then with enforcement, you need a person to enforce it, but then you need the budget to enforce it. So we know how it is with the budget between the cap and then everybody not wanting to have any larger budget than we already do because it affects us all tax-wise.
Mhm.
I think I mentioned it to you about, how the fire department has that ambulance.
Right. Well, no, right, and yes, you talked about the fees that we bring in for any permits, building permits and gas permits and electric, blah, 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 this and that. That, we potentially have that money to help offset the cost of our code enforcement, salary. So yes, we are aware of that.
Well, if,
Is that something that should
Potentially.
be called, is that something that like NHMA could answer for us?
Oh, no, I think it is. I think
It
it's
is
not,
a-
it's similar to, like, we don't do this here in Middleton. I don't know what town does this, but it's like our town tax collector, if you look in the RSA, you could pay them a percentage of the fees that the town collects, or you can pay them like just a flat, well, we pay a salary, or you can pay an hourly rate. But we don't do it, but there is like, you can pay a percentage of like 10% of the DMV fees or whatever percent. That is in the RSA, and I think towns and cities probably don't do that because it becomes it could be
Tedious.
complicated, like, you have to figure out, or you could, you say, okay, these are the fees that we collected for the month, and so you do a percentage. I don't really know how it works, but I remember reading the RSA and I'm thinking,
Who are you taking money away from?
No, so my thought,
Or do it that way?
so my thought or idea was the fact
no,
that,
it's considered an income.
so the money that comes in from all of the permits and everything, that money goes right into general fund.
Yeah.
And so you can't access any general fund money unless it's voted on at town meeting and the budget. But, for example, the fire department has the ambulances at the revolving fund.
Yes.
So the ambulance revolving fund. And the way that's written up is it can be used for staff and I forget what it was.
It can be used for ambulance services.
Ambulance services and staff is part of that. So they could take money for that and pay staff. So my thought was, could the town come up with like the code enforcement or building permit revolving fund, whatever you want to call it? Put all of that money into like that fund and then pull that money to pay a code enforcement because
For offset.
realistically, because how I'm looking at it is realistically, what we have now for code enforcement isn't enough. It really needs to be more hours. So whether it be like 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours. But realistically, like if you went ahead and hired somebody at that, you're now looking at a much higher salary, which brings up the budget and everything else. And most people aren't going to go for that. So how can you work around that and make that money, that revenue that comes in from the permits go directly to that?
We would have to take a look and see, what are we receiving, like, we can look at the past couple of years, what have we received in permits, and we know where those fees have gone up. And you aren't going to necessarily, you can only kind of estimate and say, okay, say we collected $10,000, $10,000 in fees last year. We can only kind of assume that we're going to collect at least 10,000, maybe 10,000, because, if we don't have as many building permits, if we don't build as many new houses, or.
That's a good point, because when it bottoms out, there's nothing going on.
Well, there's also-
So that's a good point.
Even if
So,
it bottoms,
I'm just saying, so I think, sorry, John. you
okay, even if it bottoms out, we want them to enforce the rules of the town.
Right, no, I get, yes.
So if we say, look, the fund that we create will offset or pay for, hopefully, then they'll be checking driveway permits, they'll be checking survey, they'll be checking lines.
Which I should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
I know, but it gives them an incentive. And how, was it 20 hours a week to the code enforcement officer, or 40 hours a week? What?
No, it's basically the code enforcement officer is supposed to have so many set hours over in the building, so someone can
Right.
walk in
No, okay.
because
There were complaints.
the other arrangement was not working.
It was
Right.
not
So, but it's basically, it's working at whatever the work capacity is that comes across the desk.
Yep.
So, to me, that's like, oh, it's only building permits and those permits, whatever. It's like, well, no, you also have to be saying, oh, you need to be doing these junkyard, like people violating junkyard, people, having people.
Driving
cameras.
around.
There's a lot more encompassing than just
Right.
building permits.
Right.
When we get a minute, I just have two things I want to ask.
No, but I'm just saying, so I think right now it concentrates on the permits, and it's like, no, that's not what this
I
whole.
mean, that's good, but it's an incentive to like get out there and say, okay, let me
Well,
check.
it's incentive, but I did, yeah.
Oh, good. Kate
So-
has things.
Yeah, I just got two, and does the zoning ordinance, and I apologize for not knowing this in advance, still say that there's $100 fine a day for every violation?
Yeah.
It does? Okay,
I
so
believe it does.
how about that money goes to the code enforcement agent?
Well, I mean, and that money
Well,
could
so
go into like that.
would be right, but then as long as everybody's complying, that,
That's good then.
It is, it's good they're complying, but now there's no money to pay, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
So-
if that's the case, if there's no building permits,
I see your point.
and there's
I
no
see your point.
violations, then the town general fund pays it.
Right, no, but I get it.
My point was, maybe they found more violations, they'd get more money.
Well, they,
No,
well, I mean, yeah,
right,
if
it's
you,
like, kind of like piecework, okay, that's a lot.
but I mean, I think if anybody, if we had any kind of code enforcement officer drive around, and I personally think that they should, like, once a week, do like drive-throughs, because, I mean, there's people in our neighborhood that are putting up siding, putting up, doing work.
I don't
and-
know.
So, I mean, it's not something that's not unnoticed.
Yeah.
It's not
And
something,
I did have a second question, I'm sorry. Second question was, these fees collected on the last page, 3 of 3, is that monthly? It must be monthly, right?
Yeah.
The fees collected.
Yes, that's-
Summary of permits, and that's
Yeah.
just monthly, so those fees
That's
are
this
easily
for
accessible, yeah.
From June, that's what.
Yeah.
I think it's for what's on the report.
Yes.
And this is monthly, so it's from 6/1 to 6/30.
Okay.
I'm just putting it on.
So I'm just saying that data is easily accessible.
Right, so
for the-
you,
yeah.
so you're gonna most likely from January to probably March, April, are not gonna collect this much, because, or I should say from November to that, are gonna collect this.
That's right, it went way down, remember, he had nothing to do in April, I think, yeah.
Because, can't build during those times.
But you still can issue permits, because the permits last some time.
Yeah, but most people aren't going to get a permit until they actually want to start.
They, right, when they're ready to work.
Because they're only good for a year.
That's a
So
good
what
point.
are the people that get those permits and they haven't done anything, it's been like 3, 4, 5 months?
It lasts for a year.
Yeah, it's for a year, so it's not.
I know that on Spruce Street, unless they had, pardon me, a permit 6/8/2024, so I've got to go down there because they just left us foundation, and he said he wasn't gonna be in town for a while. So I think he needs to get another building permit.
Well, no, then you can ask for a year extension, I think.
Oh, he can ask for an
Without cost.
extension? Oh, okay.
Then, I think. Kate.
I don't know.
Then
I just
after
saw
that, I think the second,
Dawn?
then it's like if you're going on year 2, or, like you go, the end of year 2, you need a new permit.
How was Mr. St. Pierre doing?
He's doing good, he was at the cookout, he said, he's gonna be building, he's having to sell his house in Maine and,
No, he's not moving in the street, on the house across the street from me?
no,
No,
he's,
it's gonna be his ex-wife.
that was his ex-wife, no, his ex-wife got a lot more than,
He bargained.
that, no, he got way more than he bargained. Which is why he's gonna be, he'll be building and I think moving into that one.
The one on Lake Shore Drive?
No,
Has anybody done the measurements there?
The Lakeshore Drive one is his
The one's
son's,
on Pinkham.
Oh, is he moving to the one on Spruce?
he's closer to you.
Or
How
he's got
lucky.
2 lots on, he's got the 2 lots on Pinkham.
So he-
Oh, my God, no. If
So
he
wait a
gets
minute.
septic
Wait a
approval
minute,
for that, that'll be
wait a minute,
interesting.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn at
7:27.
7:27.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.